The morning the trouble began, the sky over the desert was the color of old bone, and the wind carried a stillness that made even the mesquite trees seem afraid to move. I had been riding since dawn, saddle creaking, boots dusty, mind on nothing but the long stretch of road toward Coyote Gotch. I didn't expect to pass anyone out there, least of all a woman from the Apache tribes crouched beside a broken wagon wheel, alone, watching me approach like she was deciding whether to run or fight. Her name, I'd learn later, was Noya. But the first thing I noticed wasn't her name, no, it was the silence around her. The kind of silence that warns a man he's stepping into something bigger than he can see. "You look stuck," I said, keeping my hands away from my gun, voice steady like I wasn't imagining the dozens of ways this could go wrong. She didn't move. Didn't blink. Just sat. The bolt snapped. The wheel cannot carry weight. Her English was clean, soft like river water, and it surprised me enough that I took another step closer. She didn't reach for the knife on her belt, so I knelt beside the wheel. The bolt had sheared clean off. I could fix it, maybe, but it'd take time. And staying still in Apache country was never a smart choice for a cowboy like me. Still, something in her eyes, dark, steady, almost staring me, made me say, "I can fix it if you be got a spare." She handed me one without speaking another word. While I worked, she watched. Not suspicious, more like curious. Like she hadn't expected a white man to stop, much less help. When the wheel was back on, she stood. "You help without asking the cost." "No cost," I said. "Just saw someone who needed a hand." She stepped closer, studying my face like she was reading something written there. "Then you are either a foolish man," she said quietly, "or a dangerous one." I didn't know what that meant. "Not yet." She climbed onto the wagon, gave a single nod, and rode off without looking back. I watched her disappear into the desert heat, figuring that was the end of it. I've never been so wrong in my life. That night, I stayed in my cabin, a lonely place built from dead wood and stubbornness, tucked between two low ridges. The air was cool, the stars sharp as needle points. I'd just banked my fire when I heard a sound that didn't belong in the quiet. Hooves. Not one horse. Dozens. I stepped outside, heartbeat thudding like a hammer. War-paint riders, Apache warriors, circled my cabin in a tightening ring, their faces fierce, their horses stamping the earth like they wanted to split it open. Every one of them held a weapon. Every spear tip glinted in the moonlight like a promise. And at the head of them, Noya. But her expression was different now. Hard. Commanding. Like she was someone important. Someone dangerous. A warrior barked a command I didn't understand. Two others rode closer, both raised. I lifted my hands slow, palms out. "I don't want trouble." Noya dismounted and walked toward me, each step measured. Her braids hung over her shoulders, decorated with beads that caught the firelight. Her presence alone was enough to keep every warrior behind her perfectly still. "You helped me today," she said. "But you did not know who I was." "I don't guess I did," I admit it. "I am the daughter of Chief Taza. And the men you see here follow my word." Her voice didn't waver. "We came tonight for a reason." I swallowed hard and waited. "You touched our wagon," she said. "Our supplies. Our tools. Our land." I stiffened. "I only fixed the wheel." "That's all." "That is not all." Her eyes held a fire that made my breath hitch. "You crossed into a place where you should not walk. And some among my people say you did it to spy, to learn our weaknesses." I glanced at the ring of warriors tightening around me like a snake preparing to strike. "You think I'm some kind of scout? Some Donnerstag?" She paused. "I do not." Relief washed over me just before she added, "But my belief is not enough." A low drum began somewhere behind the warriors. A sound like thunder rolling over sand. I realized then the weight of the choice I'd made. Helping her hadn't been a simple act of kindness, it had tangled me in something ancient, something governed by rules I didn't know. "What happens now?" I asked, voice barely steady. "You come with us," she said. "By choice, or by force?" My throat tightened. If I went, I might not come back. If I refused, well, the bows pointed at my chest made the outcome pretty clear. "Will I be harmed?" I asked. "Not if the truth is what you say." Her voice softened, barely. "But you must stand before my father and prove it." I nodded. "All right. You go." A murmur rippled through the warriors. Surprise? Approval? I couldn't tell. They parted for her, and she gestured for me to walk beside her horse. We started toward the mountains, leaving my cabin alone in the moonlight, looking smaller with every step I took. The ride was long and silent. Neue didn't look at me, but her horse stayed close enough that I could feel the heat of its breath. The warriors fanned out around us like shadows. When we reached their camp, a hidden valley between red cliffs, the firelight painted everything in gold and blood. Warriors gathered. Women and children peeked from behind shelters. Eyes followed me from every direction. Chief Taza stood near the largest fire, tall and broad-shouldered, hair streaked with iron gray. His gaze was sharp enough to cut through bone. Neue walked ahead and spoke to him in Apache. Their voices were low, serious. When she finished, the chief turned toward me. "You helped my daughter," he said in accented English. "But intention is the heart of all deeds. We will see what lies in yours." I didn't know how they planned to see anything, but I held his stare. I meant no harm. I only wanted to help. A circle of warriors formed. The chief gestured. "Step into the firelight." I did. He raised his hand. A hush fell. Then he spoke, "If you are a man of truth, walk through the smoke. If you lie, the spirits will show us." A narrow path of thick smoke rose from a burning mixture of herbs and cedar. I'd heard stories about Apache spirit tests. Some men swore the smoke could make visions. Others said it revealed guilt in a man's eyes. My palms were sweating. My heart was hammering. But I walked forward. The smoke swallowed me. The smell was sharp, ancient. Images flickered in the haze, my father's face, my cabin, the broken wagon wheel, Neue watching me with unreadable eyes. Then fire. Va. A shadowed figure raising a spear. When I stumbled out the other side, gasping, the warriors watched me like they were deciding whether to strike. The chief studied my face. Then, slowly, he nodded. "He is not a spy." Relief hit me so hard my knees nearly buckled. But then the chief added, "Yet there is more." My breath caught. More. Neue stepped closer, eyes burning. "The wheel you fixed was on a wagon carrying medicine for our winter stores. Without it, we would have been delayed. Our sick would have suffered." Her voice softened, turning almost fragile. "Helping me saved our people time we did not have." The chief spoke again. "For that, you earned our respect. But respect alone is not safety." I frowned. "What do you mean?" "You know our paths. Our valley. Our numbers." His tone was heavy. "Men have been killed for far less." Panic surged in my chest. "Then what do you expect me to do?" The chief exchanged a look with his daughter. Something silent passed between them. Then Neue stepped closer to me, so close I could feel her breath. "You will stay with us until we decide it is safe for you to leave." "Stay? For how long?" "As long as it takes." Warriors moved in instantly, guiding me away from the fire. Not roughly, but firmly, like I was a guest in a cage. My mind spun. I'd come to help a stranger with a broken wheel. Now I was trapped in the heart of Apache territory, surrounded by warriors who weren't sure whether to trust me or kill me. The days that followed were strange, tense, quiet, dangerous. Some warriors watched me with open hatred. Others with curiosity. The children giggled whenever I passed, whispering in Apache. But Noya, she watched in a different way. Sometimes I'd catch her studying me, brow furrowed, like she was trying to solve a puzzle only she could see. Other times she spoke to me, small conversations that grew longer as days passed. One night, while we gathered water near the river, she said softly, "You should not have helped me." I raised an eyebrow. "Would you rather I'd left you stranded?" "No," she said quickly. Then slower, "But helping me changed your path. More than you know." I studied her face, the conflict in her eyes. "You didst want them to bring me to the camp, did you?" She hesitated. For the first time since I'd met her, she looked almost uncertain. "No. But they would have, even without me. The warriors saw you. They followed. They feared the worst. So me helping you started all this?" "Yes." She bit her lip. "But it also saved us." "How?" She lifted her gaze to mine, and in her eyes I saw something fierce, something almost like fate. "Because last night, we received word. Riders from the north moved toward our borders. If the wagon had been delayed, if I had not returned with the medicine," she shook her head, "the outcome would have been terrible." Silence wrapped around us. "So I helped you," I said slowly, "and now your people believe I was meant to cross your path." "Yes." Her voice was soft. "Some say it was a sign. A sign from helping a stranger." Then she said something that made my chest tighten. "My father believes you were brought to us for a reason. That your life now belongs to our story." I swallowed. "And what do you believe?" She stepped closer. "I believe you are not done with us. And we are not done with you." Before I could speak, a shout echoed through the camp. Warriors sprinted toward the cliffs. Noya grabbed my arm. "Come." "What's happening?" I demanded. Her eyes flashed. "The northern riders. They are here." As we reached the ridge, I saw them, armed riders cresting the hill, dust clouds rising behind them. Not Apache. Not friendly. Noya turned to me, eyes blazing. "You helped me once. Help my people now." In that moment, the fear vanished. The doubt vanished. All that remained was the fire rising in my chest. "Hand me a rifle," I said. Her lips curled into the faintest hint of a smile. And the night exploded into war. The battle that followed was brutal, shoots, smoke, the crack of gunfire. Riders charged from the north, and the Apache warriors fought with wild, desperate fury. I fired from behind the rocks, picking off attackers, protecting the wounded, fighting like I belonged there. Because for that moment, it felt like I did. When the final rider fell and silence returned to the valley, the Apache stood victorious. Breathing hard, covered in dust and sweat, I felt a hand on my shoulder. "Noya." She looked at me with something deeper than gratitude. Something older. "You stood with us," she whispered. "And now no one can question you again." Chief Taza approached, his expression solemn. "You proved your truth with your life. You are free to go." Free. But when I looked at Noya, standing tall, fierce, more powerful than any storm I'd ever seen, I felt something twist inside me. "Do you want to leave?" she asked, voice barely audible. I gazed at her, at the camp, at the mountains glowing under the rising sun. And I realized the answer. "No," I said. "I don't." The warriors watched. The chief nodded once. Slow, knowing. Noya's eyes softened, and for the first time, she smiled. A cowboy had helped an Apache woman fix her wagon. The next day, war paint riders ringed his cabin. But what came after was something none of them had expected. And my life, my destiny, changed forever.